long-distance caravans arrived and it's going straight to the palace again. When will I ever get my delivery?
Stop being so impatient. The kids want to recollection of journey.
Hey, you! Yes, you! Do you have a moment?
Hey there.
Hello, I'm Brett, and you are?
Zachariah.
A pleasure then, Zachariah. Are you a hunting enthusiast, a trapper? Specialist in local species. Maybe a strong fellow like you might be a mixture of them all.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm none of those things.
Ah, well, my hope got the best of me. I've been looking for someone to aid in my studies. A shame. Sure you're not a hunter, or even someone who'd want to try his hand at it?
Can you tell me what's going on?
Yes, of course, of course. You see, the focus of my study is the planet's fauna. All the insects and animals brought by the settlers that have since mutated, much like our own mutants, if not in a more spectacular way. Now, I've studied the most well-known of the creatures, of course, but I have heard of much more rare specimens, which I would go to any lengths to study. It would offer great insight into the animal mutations. Anyone can admire their beauty, but what we need is to understand how they came to be what they are. We need to study their anatomy, but they are, of course, rather dangerous.
So you need a hunter to find them and bring back your specimens. I might be able to help. What are you after?
Well, there is so much. There's a black mole and a shield toad. Also a locust I've named Locusta tempestatus, or more colorfully, the storm locust. It's been spotted in the tunnels beneath Ophir.
Ah, and here comes the rare pearl, the diamond in the rough that my Nisha tells me about. Come, young man.
Zachariah Mancer. was a lieutenant in Abundance.
Then welcome to Noctus Labyrinthus, Zachariah Mancer, former lieutenant of Abundance. I am Dandolo, head of this fair city.
Legendary city of the merchants. Apparently less legend than I thought, or been told.
But hopefully as glorious as legends proclaim. Regardless, for all who come seeking asylum, it opens its arms to you and your companions. You are free to call it home. Like all who have come before you, you will honor our only request, that you make yourselves useful to our city. I'm sure your skills will place you in high demand. Noctis's first Technomancer. Exciting. You'll have all the help you need with Nisha and Lucky, who I believe you've met. We'll give you a room to get some rest. I hear your trip was quite eventful. There is something else. I would like to personally discuss my expectations of you. You hear? War between Abundance and Aurora's winding down. Aurora took Green Hope.
You just left Ophir a few hours ago and didn't hear anything about that.
That really surprise you? Your little censorship office probably hasn't decided what to do with the information yet. No. Don't look at me like that. You don't belong to Abundance anymore. The truce doesn't behoove us. During peace, the corporations become more suspicious of us and our business suffers. Our city could even be discovered, which would be catastrophic. In legend, it must remain.
What do you...
No, let me speak. Your welcome here comes at a price. I want you to attack an Aurora convoy. It's right up your alley.
And why would I do that?
I didn't finish. You will do it in abundance uniforms, dissolving the truce. Do what you want with the soldiers, but let the civilians live. They need to be witnesses that will report back to Aurora.
So you keep the war going?
Precisely. And while you're at it, bring back the uniforms of the Aurora Technomancers you dispatch. I'm sure I'll find a use for them down the road. Ah, another thing, much more trivial this time, I assure you. The rover you came in on, I'd like you to move it. Put it wherever you want, do whatever you want with it. Just make sure it's not in the way in the canyon. I just don't want Ophir to stumble over the machine and, as a result, find the road that leads here.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Oh yes, one last thing. My spies gave me a little tidbit that might interest you. Right after your escape, the ASC arrested your Technomancer brothers. That's what you call them, right? From Ophir. Their fate's uncertain, but if I was you, I'd be worried for them. If you're worried enough to want to help them, maybe we can set up some sand sails to get you back.
And your help comes at what cost? Assuming it's not out of the kindness of your heart.
Don't be so bitter, Zachariah. Business is business, not personal. I just thought a few Technomancers on our side might be useful.
How'd you find out about my brothers so quickly?
Well, besides the fact that your accident and eventful arrival slowed you down, my messenger's sand sails make up in speed what they lack in protection. And of course, the arrests of Abundance's most powerful strike forces were worthy of dispatching agents to keep an eye on the situation. You haven't even given a thought to how this disrupts the current balance of forces, have you?
You know why they were arrested?
The official statement is that they were suspected of treason. Victor's pretext, I'm sure. He's a man who hates anything not under his control. Was probably planning this for quite a while. He didn't get what he wanted going at it indirectly, so he just took it head on. Whatever hope you have for their lives, I'd start to come to terms. They're probably being tortured for their secrets as we speak. And as soon as they give them up, they'll be executed. If you care about them...
Intelligent but shifty. He wishes to fire up another war. Blood, corpses, misery. Those things follow a merchant of death. You should never have left Ophir.
I would have died there, Scott. I'm sorry you had to come with me. I really am. You could have stayed. But I have to go see what Dandolo wants.
Choice is ours to make, Zachariah. Ours. But I have been thinking, what is Dandolo really after? With everything he does, he has the future in mind. I wonder what kind of creature that is.
Kind of over the preacher's tales. He's definitely a good storyteller, but he recycles the stories over and over and over and over and... Oh, you get the point. Doomsday this, blah blah that.
Not the religious type, eh?
Oh no, I'm a chronic believer. I just switch beliefs every couple weeks. most exotic goods on the planet. All here, in one stall.
I just need information.
The only information I have is about my goods. The most exotic goods on the planet. Most exotic good. Most exotic.
Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I took the rover all the way down into the canyon. Unfortunately, that's where I hit a wild ostrich, and now the thing won't drive. Heard you might be able to help get it back here.
And why exactly would we want to help you? We who are just monsters to you and your kind, even here. One of us was just lynched. And what did your kind do about it? Nothing. And when we are sick, what one of you would help us even in fair exchange for serum? Why then, answer me, would we help you now?
I understand why you're angry, but none of that has anything to do with me. Do you think people are any nicer to Technomancers? If so, you're wrong. If they weren't so busy being scared of us, I'm sure they'd hang us too.
So, we are the same. Except that you are healthy.
You've got some sick among you. I'm sorry. I don't know.
As we always hear.
You said there was a lynching. Tell me about it. Maybe I could help.
The last time a man helped a mutant.
Who were these?
It was those...
Not all human.
Welcome. What?
Did you hear about that mutant who got lynched? I want to know who did it.
I see. But why do you think I would know anything about it?
You know what goes on in that neighborhood like any merchant should. And you don't think that this kind of story is bad for business? The mutants are furious. You really want them to turn the whole city upside down in order to find the culprit?
You're not wrong. I guess that we'd better turn in the culprits and be done with it. It's a gang of fanatics from the temple that lynched that poor guy. Oh, it was awful.
Why didn't you do anything then?
It was an angry crowd, and I mean, I have nothing against mutants, of course, but...
A spine like a jellyfish, but it walks like a human. Thanks for the information, I guess.